One of the most common thoughts among people are, could I live inside this video game? This question is usually associated with games such as Minecraft, Animal Crossing, Stardew Valley, or any other, well, relaxing games. But what about other games? Today we'll be looking at one of my favorite games, Luigi's Mansion. While it may be a cartoony, spooky Mario game, could a normal human actually survive in it? For the most part, a good handful of people can actually survive all the way up to the beginning of the game, though there is one scene that might actually kill people. When entering the parlor room in the beginning, Luigi is jump scared by a gold ghost. Now, most people would survive this, but anyone who's probably the age above 80 or has a frail heart would probably die from heart attack here. But, I mean, they could survive. Maybe. For the most part, the parlor is pretty survivable. I mean, the only real threat is a few easy ghosts. And from here you go into the anteroom. Just like the parlor room, the anteroom only has a few ghosts for a person to deal with. Once again, a pretty survivable room if you aren't someone with an IQ lower than Toad's height.
I'm the best!
The only threat in this room is the garbage can ghost, or the banana ghost as I like to call it. As seen in Mario Kart and movies, a banana peel can be pretty deadly, I think. Yeah. The first portrait ghost Luigi fights is Neville. Neville attacks by throwing books at Luigi, and, you know, if any regular human were to go up against Neville, flying books could hurt pretty bad, but not enough to really kill someone, honestly. Actually, scratch that. College textbooks can kill people, just in a different way. Lily doesn't really have anything threatening about her. She just sits there and closes the window from time to time. Obviously, this is an easily survivable ghost, but unless you somehow trip and fall out the window, I don't think you'll be dying. When I first played Luigi's Mansion, I hated this baby. Not because he was difficult, but because he kept screaming and annoyed me. The first phase of Chauncey is just him throwing stuffed bears at you. While scary, yes, it's just a stuffed animal, so I mean, if you die to that, then I'm not sure how you lived this far. The second phase of Chauncey is Luigi is teleported or drugged or starts dreaming. He ends up on a giant baby cradle being threatened by a giant Chauncey. Chauncey does 4 attacks, throws out a giant bouncy ball at Luigi, bounces on his belly, commands giant rocking horses to fly around, and screams like a little gremlin. The giant bouncy balls may not be the biggest threat to human, but they could still hurt. As for Chauncey's bouncing, I mean, if you're caught by it, might break a bone or something like that. And finally, probably the most deadly of his attacks is a giant rocking chair going at like 40 miles per hour towards you. It's basically being hit by a car. So, I mean, you know, surviving Chauncey in this condition, it's possible, just difficult. And if I had to say, a good majority of people can survive, though, I mean, a good handful would also probably get hit and die to the rocking chairs. But other than that, hey, you know what? It's survivable. In Area 2, we are able to explore the main hallway and plenty of rooms. Though, one thing I forgot to mention is that in most areas of the mansion, there are fake doors. And if Luigi opens up one of these fake doors, he gets squashed and flattened and takes quite a bit of health. Though if this were to happen to a human, they would be dead. Being squashed and flattened as a human is basically death, if you didn't know. So let's just bring the survivability of the mansion down just a little, just because of that. So before we even get into any of the main rooms or portrait ghosts, there's a certain ghost in the main hallway that presents a great threat, at least in my opinion. That ghost is the bomb ghost. While Luigi doesn't die instantly to a bomb, any normal human would. So like, it's a pretty big threat if you ask me. It's a bomb. They explode. While not as big of a threat of the bomb ghost, the bowling ghost also poses a decent threat. I mean, it's not as cool as a bomb ghost, but it chucks bowling balls, and, you know, if you were hit by a bowling ball, you would probably have some trauma Yep. If you got past the bomb ghost and the blown ghost, then congratulations, you did it. You survived. A little bit, but there's an even bigger threat. In the ballroom, we are met with a group of ghost guys. But I like calling them shy guys because that's what they look like, you know? But instead of being your normal shy guy, they have pitchforks. Yeah, I don't know why. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm pretty sure that those sharp pitchforks could, you know, kill someone if stabbed, you know, a big old boo-boo in the stomach. But let's say you get past these, you know, this little group of shy guys. Now you have to deal with the floating whirlindas. Quite a name. Quite a name. They're pretty survivable, though they're just kind of dancing, you know, that's all they do. So, if anything, a normal person would probably not survive a dance battle, but an actual battle, yeah, it's pretty much over. GG's. The storage room is first met with a few ghosts who don't pose any threat once again, though in this room is where we release all the boos from the hiding spot. Once again, it's pretty survivable, though the jump scare might get some people, but either they died at the beginning or, well, they're just already dead, you know. From here, we can move on to the mirror room. The ghosts aren't too bad, but it's how you really fight them. To the main eye, they're invisible, but you can see them in the mirror. If someone doesn't pick up on that soon, then they're dead. Other than that little gimmick, it's a survivable room, just your normal ghost in a room, nothing special. So far the mansion is pretty survivable for most humans, I think. Really the only threat were the bomb ghosts, the shy guys, and Chauncey, and maybe the bowling ghost, but that's it. Anyways, let's keep going.
Mamma mia!
Same thing, just a few ghosts to get rid of, and that's it. Though if you get stuck, just know that there will be no stepbro to help.
Oh no, I'm stuck.
Sir Shivers and his butler room is pretty much survivable. Same thing, few ghosts, and then Shivers himself, who proves no threat whatsoever. That's it. That's literally the whole room, besides the little secret room, but besides that. When fighting Melody, she starts throwing paper sheets around. Nothing really deadly, just a few paper cuts. That's it. That's her whole battle. So, moving on. At first, when I was making this video, I didn't think the dining room would be as dangerous as it is. But this is a big old thick boy.
Damn, boy, he's thick! Boy, that's a thick ass boy!
Could probably kill someone. I mean, after getting rid of his yummy, oh so good food, he gets hangry and then starts shooting fireballs from his mouth. Yup, that's right, fireballs. If someone were to be hit by this, then they would have some pretty bad burns. And if they were hit by multiple fireballs, they would probably be burnt to death. Besides the ghosts, the bigger threat in the kitchen are the flying pots and pans. While it doesn't sound as scary as a ghost, flying metal pots and pans can cause some damage. I mean, if you've played Team Fortress 2, then you know just how well the frying pan is at killing someone. It's pretty good. Pretty good. Boneyard. The Bone Zone. The Boneyard. The Bone. In the Boneyard, we meet two ghosts before the main battle. Spooky and Mr. Bones. Spooky being a guard dog with some killer teeth, he could, well, definitely give you some wounds if you got caught by him. He is a guard dog. And then Mr. Bones, who is a skeleton that throws bones at you. That's it. That's about it. Could it hurt? Yeah. Will it kill you? No. After defeating both of those two dummies though, you face off against a trio of Mr. Bones. And with all the bones being thrown around, I mean, it could be difficult, maybe. But then again, like I said, they're just bones, so get over it, I guess. One of the easiest bosses in the game. The sight of him may be terrifying, though his actual battle is pretty simple. I'm gonna go ahead and say that this fight is pretty survivable for the average person. Though, if anything, you might get a good slap on the cheeks from a shadow, and that's it. Hi, so I'm currently editing the video, and I noticed that I didn't account for Biff. He's pretty deadly, that's all I'm gonna say, but survivable at the most. Our first room in Area 3 is the tea room. The only real threatening thing in this room are the flying plates. While pretty easily defeatable, she does shoot out hot scalding water, which of course can cause burns, but since you usually get a surprise attack on her, she's not really that deadly unless you somehow fail to catch her. So yeah.
Mamma mia!
Good old grandma's pissed off. Nana's main attack is her needle eye beam. I'm not sure if it's really just an intense stare or if she shoots needles out of her eyes, but I'm gonna just assume that's just a death stare, so she's survivable. I mean, not sure how you're gonna die from that. Our next main room is the billiards room, which includes Slim Bank Shot. The main attack going on in this battle is just the flying billiard balls, which, you know, can cause some damage, but let's say you don't get hit, then Slim himself doesn't really put up much of a fight. Once again, survivable. Going back to the family's room, we get to fight off against the twins. This is where I think a lot of people may or may not die. When fighting the two brothers, one is driving around a car and trying to make roadkill, whereas the other is flying a plane and constantly dropping bombs. With the constant bomb drops and the constant driving, the survivability of this room is kind of low, though I mean, there will probably be some people that survive for now. If you survived the Henry and Orville fight, then congratulations. I don't know how you did it, but you did it. Anyways, we're in the Astral Hall now, which includes more Shy Guys and annoying ghosts. This room is pretty low on the survivability in my opinion. I mean, maybe not as low as the twins, but given the group of Shy Guys and the annoying ghosts, it might be a little bit overwhelming, but let's say you make it somehow. Observatory. One of my favorite rooms in the game. While it includes no ghosts, that doesn't mean that someone can't die. In this room you walk along a beautiful path to the blown up moon. If we are in space, then GG's, I mean have fun breathing in the air, because there is no air. But if we are in space, then the only way of dying is falling off the path, and I'm sure someone would do it. Literally just a freebie, she literally gives herself up. While terrifying, yes, Boolossus is actually less of a threat than Chauncey. Boolossus' main attack is just bouncing around and trying to crush Luigi. So it's Chauncey but watered down. Survivable. So at this point in the game, usually lightning has struck the mansion, which turns off all the power and brings out a lot of ghosts. So this makes a lot of the rooms a lot deadlier than before, and that means that someone might be overwhelmed and could possibly die. Though there might be someone that survives, who knows. This fight is pretty special due to the fact that you're fighting 3 portrait ghosts at the same time, which all have guns. Well, maybe not regular guns, but guns nonetheless. The soldiers shoot out their toy cork guns and that's about it. And the corks are also connected by a string inside the gun, so they don't really go far at all. So it's pretty survivable if you don't get hit. So Soup Heath just throws dolls at you like Chauncey. That's about it. At this point, almost any room is survivable. I mean, if someone made it this far, then what's stopping them? Anyways, we're gonna go up against Jarvis, and while he doesn't live in a computer, he does live in a jar. I don't know how. Anyway, he throws ceramic jars at you. It could hurt. Same, you know, it's just like a book. It'll hurt you, but that's it. Now this is where I think everyone, or almost everyone, will die. The cold storage / Sir Weston is probably one of the most difficult rooms, at least for what I would say for a human. So if you thought pitchforks, bombs were scary, then good luck with this. Sir Weston, being one of the final portrait ghosts, has one of the deadliest rooms and abilities. The room itself is covered in ice, making it extremely cold, and the floor is also slippery, as your mom. And there's icicles hanging from the ceiling, ready to fall. Not only that, but Weston himself has the ability to create a wave of icicles popping from the ground. If caught in this wave, you will be stabbed by the icicles. Now try avoiding those waves while slipping around on the floor, while dodging falling icicles above your head, and not trying to look like an idiot. Sounds like a lot, I know. The survivability of this boss is extremely low. I mean, if anything, it's probably like 1% that will survive. So yeah, I'm gonna assume this is where, you know, things kind of cut off, but let's keep on going. Vanguard is basically just another ghost room, except there's a portrait ghost here. You just fight off against ghosts that you've seen before, and that's it. The only threat is the bomb ghost, but that's pretty easy to deal with at this point. And Van Gore himself literally just gives up. He sees you take away all his ghosts, and then he gives up. That's it. Oh boy, the finale. We've done it. But now you would be tired and hungry and thirsty and wanting to die. But there's no time for that because you gotta save Chris Pratt. I mean Mario, sorry. The final battle consists of fire breathing, big ol' spiky balls, and a giant floating head shooting ice at you. The fire breathing itself isn't really that deadly, considering that you can take a few steps back, though the main threat in my opinion are the giant spiky balls. Get hit by one of those and you're either you're getting stabbed or you're getting rolled over, who knows? Or both. Let's say you survive both of those though, and now you're trying to capture King Boo. Well, now you have a giant head shooting ice at you, and to be honest, if you survive Sir Weston, then it's easy to dodge ice at this point, so it's not really that much of a threat. Really, the survivability of the finale, is actually pretty decent. And so I'd say this battle is survivable. What a fun journey. When making this video, I didn't realize how deadly this game really was when I thought about it, but with all things considered, it's Luigi's Mansion. And is it survivable? Answer is no. There's a good chance that a normal human is not surviving this f***ing mansion. Let me know what you guys think. Could you actually survive Luigi's Mansion? If not, then same here. If you enjoyed this discussion, then go ahead and like it and maybe consider subscribing. Anyways, I have to get myself unstuck from the laundry room and there's no step bro to help me.